Life is my favorite life to live. It's the only life I have to give. The life I live each day and night. The life I'll live as long as I might. May we all live as long as we're alive. May we all live, not just survive. This life is the life that I have to give. This life is my favorite life to live. This life is the life that I have to give. This life is my favorite life to live. Thank y'all.
Joe, thank you. And I know that you have a new CD with the songs you wrote while you were recuperating, and you are doing a lot to raise money for St. Francis, and we thank you for all that you do for the community and for sharing your talents with us.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
You know, it's always a wonderful day. We have special music and a brand new Rotary member. So now it's my pleasure to call on Ryan Clements to please introduce our newest Rotarian.
President Lori and fellow Rotarians, it's my pleasure this afternoon to introduce our newest member, Chris Bryant, who is President and CEO of YMCA of Metropolitan Columbus. Chris is a servant leader who is committed to the growth and well-being of those who he meets through his work and volunteering, and he's got more than 15 years of experience doing that with youth, families, and in this community. Chris began his journey with YMCA in 1999 as a summer camp counselor, and has since worked his way up from those ranks all the way up to where he is today as president and CEO. So he really knows the organization, and that's an asset to us. I served there on the board with him, and I've gotten to know him very, very well through that role. Chris holds a master's in public administration and a bachelor, this is a long one, Bachelor of Science in Recreation Administration and Leisure Services Management. Say that a few times in a row. In addition to his work on the Y, he serves in various community, state, and regional boards. In his spare time, Chris volunteers as a youth coach and mentor, and he reads to students in the local school district, enjoys being outdoors, and most importantly, spending time with his wife and 2 girls. And I can tell you from my experience working with Chris at YMCA, where I serve on the board, that he cares about his team, he cares that the YMCA is doing meaningful work in the community, and he'll be a tremendous asset to our club. So if you would, please join me in a warm Rotary welcome.
Thank you for this opportunity, and I look forward to meeting many of you in this room, and I look forward to serving as a Rotarian. Thank you.
And Chris, we are so thrilled to have you as the newest Rotarian. And as you know, our club has a long history of service in the community. And in fact, an interesting fact is that we're club number 200 out of 35,000 Rotary clubs around the world. And so you join quite the group. And so we all look forward to meeting you and working alongside you. So welcome.
Thank you.
And now I'd like to call on Jean Kemp to, I don't know what kind of update you're going to give us today, but let's find out.
You believe it's almost the end of the season. I think we've got one more game, so that's going to wind this whole thing up for us. Right now, we currently have Bates College next to last. Did you see that? Third to last, okay.
Beating Vanderbilt and Southern Miss.
All right, so we're on a roll there. That's good. In 5th place, we got Davison. 4th place, Georgia. 3rd place, Tennessee. 2nd place, North Carolina. And in 1st place again, we've got Alabama. Now, we don't have a meeting next week, so we're going to miss 2 weeks of games. So I'm just going to give you a couple of the upcoming games. We've got on the 20th, Auburn in South Carolina. On the 27th, it'll be Clemson in South Carolina, and that's a big game over in that part of the world. We got Alabama and Auburn on the 27th. Florida and Florida State, Texas A&M and LSU, Tennessee and Vanderbilt, and Findlay is going to be playing Shepherd on the 20th. So make sure you watch that one too. So got a lot of good games coming, but one game kind of special stands out, and that's the Georgia Tech game. And we have brought in 2 top prognosticators on this, and it's the first time that I think we've ever done this, but we're going to have a mother and daughter give their views of the game and predict the score. So Lori and Alston, y'all come right ahead.
Gonna start here.
Well, I will be the first to admit that if you're a Tech fan, your patience is tested week after week and year after year, and many times you simply resign yourself to learn to repeat the phrase, there's always next year. But, we still love our jackets, we love our Georgia Tech jackets. But we've had some stumbles and fumbles this year, and we're sitting at a very noble and respectable 3-7. But while we may have missed the mark a little bit so far, I can't help but say that I predict a Christmas miracle come early, and that the home field advantage may just help us, give us the upset of the century, and that the Jackets will wreck, like Ramblin' Wreck, yeah, sympathy laugh, because we're going to probably lose, thank you. They'll wreck the Georgia Bulldogs' perfect season, and that we may just get a win at Bobby Dodd.
Don't go anywhere. So, little known fact, story about Alston's journey to Georgia Tech actually began with a bribe. I bribed her into touring campus, and I used a shopping trip as the prize. And she did it, and the rest, they say, is history. So fast forward to the present. Who would have ever thought we would both be up here giving the forecast for one of the South's most heated rivalries? So as many of you know, and some of you may not know, I worked for the University of Georgia for 16 years, and in fact, that's what brought me to Columbus. And I'm a longtime Bulldog, and I love my dogs. And there is a lot to love this year. With a defense that's second to none in college football, the Bulldogs, led by head coach Kirby Smart, comes to the North Avenue Trade School, ready to put on an offensive and a defensive show.
Okay. I would like to say she did own season tickets my freshman year at college, so she did support Georgia Tech.
All parents of children in college understand what support means, correct? So the Dogs looked great last week against Tennessee, despite the fact that several key players were under the weather. So I predict those players will have recovered. They'll be ready to play this week, and they'll be ready for next week, some clean, old-fashioned hate when they enter Bobby Dodd next Saturday at noon. So to continue the tradition that started way back in, do you remember what year? Anybody? 1873. This year's game promises to be, another loss for Tech. And I'm going to predict a final score in the ballpark of 49-3. Being the smart Tech graduate that she is, Alston recommended that we end this forecast by comparing stats. So I looked at her and I said, "Do you really want to do this?" And she said, "Absolutely." So here goes. And so we decided, let's just alternate back and forth on our stats and see how that goes. So age before beauty, I'm going first. The obvious, UGA football has the #1 defense in college football.
Well, I would argue just as obviously, Georgia Tech is ranked as the #10 public university in the nation.
Okay. UGA's offense has averaged almost 39 points per game, while our opponents barely got to 7.
Well, we're speaking of numbers. Payscale.com recently ranked Georgia Tech as the first in the state and 13th in the nation for providing the best 20-year return on investment.
I'll take that.
Cheers to you.
Cheers to me. UGA is sporting a 10-0 season and 8-0 in their conference.
Well, speaking of 10, all of Georgia Tech's engineering programs rank in the top 10 in the nation.
Anybody else still waiting on a football stat? Okay. And lastly, UGA is ranked #1 in the country.
That's cool and all, but, and I'm going to say this as often as I can until I can't anymore, Georgia Tech has won more national championships than our in-state rivals at UGA, and even more than that, we won one more recently than UGA. So I'd like to give a very healthy and robust to a really group that's not really Georgia Tech fans, to hell with Georgia.
Oh, I hope you all know Gene twisted our arms to do that. You forgot to say that. So we have a special introduction, and Hayley Tillery, I'd like to ask you if you would please come up and introduce someone who has actually been with us for a little while. We just haven't had a chance to formally meet her. But we all feel like we know her because of her wonderful food. And we definitely love her.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is an announcement that is overdue, but I'm so glad we have time today. I want to officially introduce the Trade Center's first female executive chef at the Ironworks. She brings over 24 years of experience in the Bi-City area in our own hometown. The Trade Center is thrilled to announce Hope Matthews as the new executive chef. Chef Matthews has served as a Trade Center chef de cuisine for 3 years under the former executive chef Chris Walters. Chef Walters knew Chef Matthews would easily be able to take over if he ever decided to pursue other opportunities. Although we do miss Chef Walters, we are happy to know that he has decided to remain in Columbus, Georgia. But I will say, Chef Matthews brings a wealth of culinary talents to our team like we've never seen before. Her extreme diverse experience working at restaurants, being in the convention business at the Trade Center for over 5 years will elevate our dining experience here at the Ironworks and our mission to make remarkable experiences for all that come. Additionally, her home roots have helped paint the story of her local talent, enhancing the experience for all guests that walk inside our building. Chef Matthews earned her culinary degree from Escoffier School of Culinary Arts, and she's entrusted among other alumnus that have achieved the level of executive chef. She's a member of the Atlanta Chefs chapter of the American Culinary Federation and is planning to complete her final certification this coming year. Her background at the Trade Center is just the willingness to serve and lead her team like I've never seen before, and she loves this community. Chef Matthews was adopted at birth and born and raised in Phoenix City, where her love for cooking was inspired by her family at a very young age. Chef Matthews has learned over the years how to make trials into triumphs. Becoming the executive chef to the Convention Center in the second largest city in the state of Georgia did not come easy, but Chef Hope knows that the importance of perseverance, work ethic, and never giving up. She is truly the example of culinarian who styles her major ability to always keep a watchful eye on how food tastes, the presentation, and the styles are all ingrained in her craft. I'm proud to say she started from the ground up when preparing countless iconic blizzards at Dairy Queen, thousands of McDonald's world's famous French fries, and making her mission even at Pizza Hut to make sure every pizza was perfect in her first younger years. But every step led Chef Matthews to advance her fast food career to now a private event career where she has done an amazing job with exclusive wedding catering, preparing meals for thousands at conferences and conventions, and she continues to excel, even becoming a single mom and making sure she sets an example for her family. Chef Hope has found that when she takes trials and tribulations and has perseverance, just like her name, Hope, she found her hope in her Christian faith and now uses her story to make a difference in other people's lives. I can't tell you enough, as the executive director of this building, we are blessed and fortunate to have Chef Hope Matthews as our new executive chef of the Trade Center. Please welcome Executive Chef Hope Matthews.
I've worked and watched a lot of you guys for the past almost 6 years, and it's been a pleasure. And I'm really honored to be able to step into this new position and continue to grow, continue to see you guys every Wednesday, throw new things out there, let you try some world cuisines. I know military comes in, we want to broaden what we give you guys, keep you guys happy, and we love seeing y'all every Wednesday. And it is truly an honor to have the opportunity to work as the executive chef for the building, because my family lived along these rivers for years, decades, and my family's still here, so I'm not going anywhere.
Great.
Thank you, everyone.
Chef Hope, we are thrilled to have you and look forward to trying whatever you throw at us. We will be willing. I have just a few announcements. Let me just begin by asking you to please keep Mary's family in your prayers. Kirk is with us today, and he just wanted to let everybody know that Mary is at the end of life, and to just keep them in your prayers. And as anything happens, we will keep everyone informed and communicate, but just please keep them in your prayers. Also, would you please consider nominating someone for the Dan Reed Award? We still have a few days to get those nominations in. That's for anyone who is a non-Rotarian but who has contributed and exemplified service above self in our community. And we have the applications in the back. Turn those in, I believe, by November 29th. And then hopefully you will join us tomorrow afternoon for our Rotary happy hour from 6 to 8. We'll do that via Zoom. You can pop in at any time and enjoy some fellowship. So joining me today is Jean Kemp, who is going to introduce today's wonderful speaker.
Thank you, Lori, and I do think that was a good prediction you had earlier. So, our speaker today is Barbara Moushon. Barbara joined the staff of Open Door Community House in July 2020 as the director of Circles in Columbus. Prior to joining Open Door, she served 16 years as the director of the Literacy Alliance, and 5 years of that in partnership with Columbus Tech. She spent the first 17 years of her career in retail management and purchasing before entering the nonprofit sector. She worked with Mercantile Stores in Columbus, Saks Fifth Avenue in Cincinnati, RSI Management in Chicago and Green Bay, and the Michaels Stores in Illinois and Atlanta. Barbara was twice awarded the Georgia Press Association Certified Literate Community Program Award for Outstanding Leadership as a Program Director, while with the Literacy Alliance. She recently served 3 years as Treasurer of the Board of the National Dictionary Project, and she is a proud graduate of Auburn University, and she loves being a Rotarian and serving on our Literacy Committee. She is married to her husband, Brian, and has a daughter, Victoria, who is a RN in LaGrange. This is Barbara Moushon.
Just in case you haven't or ever noticed or anything, my maiden name is Kemp, and he's my brother. So I appreciate that.
Extra hard on that.
I appreciate that very much, very much. I want to thank you for this opportunity to be here and share with you about Circles in Columbus, a program of Open Door Community House. It is our initiative to empower people out of poverty. And I want to start with a video we just produced.
Hi, my name is Mary Sykes.
Hi, my name is Miquetta.
Hi, I'm Priscilla Dixon.
My name is Rashawn Brown.
Hi, my name is Shelley Everson.
My name is Kim Jenkins. I'm the Executive Director at Open Door Community House. So what is poverty? It's often defined as a lack of access to resources not only for the necessities of life, but also to thrive. Resources like food and housing, but also adequate health care, education, even transportation.
It's difficult. I don't know if people understand how hard it is when you have nobody. You have nobody.
And not having food sometimes, or not having a roof over your head sometimes, it's been a very big strain on me, and I'm trying to get that part of life right. It's been a very big struggle, but I'm still working on it.
I'm a single mother to a 10-year-old son. I was originally working at a Fortune 500 company, and I thought I was going to be there until I retire. But life happens. A lot of things was just going through beyond my control. And at that time, I really just didn't even know what I was going to do. I had to make sure that I can provide for me and my son. He wouldn't understand some of the things that I went through, and there are things that I probably wouldn't even share with him. But at this particular time, I was almost in a dark place. Being the type of individual, I didn't ask nobody for help. I wouldn't dare ask anybody to help me pay my bills because I felt like I'm an adult and I have to do things on my own.
You know, so it's a struggle working and not able to be able to still afford life like normal people do.
There's a multitude of reasons why someone would be of low wealth or, quote, living in poverty. It could be everything from society's laws and policies to financial constraints, just living below, having wages below livable wage, to the poor credit history or a lack of credit history sometimes can affect those in poverty because they end up paying more for everything. And then certainly there are poor choices that sometimes are made, often in desperation, and the relationships that are often missing. For so many people who live in poverty, they only know other people living in poverty. So one of the beautiful things is to help connect through relationship, not only that supportive, encouraging role, but also being a connection to resources, those vital connections that can help people find jobs, full-time employment, and other things that become life-changing.
People don't understand how bad the struggle is especially if you're a single parent.
Everyday life decisions. With low income, I have 5 kids plus myself. I'm a single parent. And even though I have education from a high school diploma to a 2-year degree, it's not easy getting a job in the field that you have your degree in all the time.
I still try to work 1 or 2 jobs, sometimes 2 or 3.
If you are able-bodied and you can work, and God has blessed you to be able to work, you should really get up, go out and work, because that's really the only way that you can make it and strive for a better life.
But now I am currently in a full-time position. I want to grow where I'm at. It's a job that I love.
Even though it was hard, humbling yourself to come here, because I've always been a person who's always been on top. I've always worked 2 jobs. As I work right now, I'm working 2 jobs because it makes a world of difference when someone's out there and they're really reaching out to you and they want to help you and they help you. It makes all the world of a difference to that person and to their family.
I love this place. I love all the positive energy.
And people have to understand, if this happened to me, it can happen to anyone. Because this was a place I never thought I would have been in.
I just want to say thank you once again to Open Door Community Home for helping me and showing me that I don't have to stay down or out in the cold, that there is a better way, that I can get back on top, and that's what I've done. So I just say thank you.
In 2021, the federal poverty guideline for a family of 3 was just under $22,000. The poverty rate in Georgia is 13.3%, while the poverty rate in Columbus is 20.7%. With a population of just under 196,000 people, that means over 40,000 of our neighbors are living below the federal poverty guideline. 30.9% of our children under the age of 5 are living below the federal poverty guideline. However, it's recognized that to be truly self-sufficient, one needs to earn 200% of the federal poverty guideline. So in Columbus, that's 42% of the population. Over 79,000 of our neighbors have an income below one considered to be able to provide for self-sufficiency. And this is where Circles comes in. Circles in Columbus has been a chapter of Circles USA for 10 years, and there are two goals with Circles. One, to help people get out of poverty, and two, to help remove the barriers that keep people in poverty. This is a 2-year program because long-term solutions require long-term educational processes and relationships to be effective. It is a 2-phase program with different goals. Phase 1, we call Circle Leader Training. It is the focus on education and empowering the individual. It is more than talking about budgeting and finances, which we talk about a lot. It's more than learning about the hidden rules of society, which are very valuable when you are trying to find and keep a job. It's more than learning about setting goals, which we talk about a whole lot. Most importantly, we talk about the individual. They look at their lives, they look at themselves, and they learn about themselves. They learn to set realistic dreams and realistic goals for changing their life situation. They study about how to get a job. They learn about workplace relationships and workplace rules and ethics. They develop an understanding of the traits that really matter to employers, things like a positive attitude, being dependable, having a strong work ethic, and being punctual. And they even study how to best approach a perceived problem at work. So after studying all these things and learning how to create a budget and set SMART goals, we have a great celebration where we graduate our Circle Leader trainees and they become Circle Leaders. Now, I've not told you where the word circles comes from. You see, basically, we all have our own circle, our circle of friends, people like us, people we work with, we go to church with, we live in the same neighborhood or belong to the same civic organization. We have similar ambitions and dreams and lifestyles. Well, the same is true for people living in poverty. They only know other people in poverty. Their conversations revolve around real life in poverty. Becoming self-sufficient takes more than money. One needs to move from just surviving in life to thriving. We use something called a life assessment tool where our circle leaders evaluate their life every 3 months in 20 different categories: work, health care, legal issues, housing, child care, relationships, and so on. It helps them keep an eye on how they are progressing from just surviving or vulnerable to get to thriving. A vitally important part of this program is when we bring in our volunteers. The circle leader becomes the leader of their own new circle of friends. We take people from 2 different socioeconomic backgrounds and bring them together in an intentional friendship. The circle leaders are our clients. We call our volunteers their allies. We match them together in an intentional friendship, a new circle of friends. This friendship is considered social capital because they are gaining people, not wealth. These are new relationships with people from different life experiences who each want to see the other succeed. See, phase 2 is where all the education is put to work. They start using all this new knowledge on SMART goals, and you may be familiar with SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. It's more than just saying, I want this. Circle leaders and allies both establish SMART goals, and they work together to achieve these goals. And in this intentional friendship, there is no one telling anyone what to do. They're working on their goals together. And as they support each other and their conversations evolve, the sharing of ideas becomes more natural. and they share thoughts and ideas out of friendship. These friendships often continue well beyond the end of the program. Actually, most circle leaders who leave poverty behind say the key to their success was not jobs, not raises, but rather the social capital that supported them. On our main campus at Open Door, we meet on Tuesday nights. Every Tuesday night, we start with sharing a meal, and then everyone breaks up based on what phase they're in, including the children, because we have a youth coordinator, and the children go off to the gymnasium, and they learn life lessons that reflect what the parents are learning. One of our recent graduates said the thing he was most grateful for was not leaving public housing. It was not his wonderful job at a Fortune 500 company or any promotions. It was the fact that his children had learned to start their own savings plans. In phase 2, we have meetings every Tuesday night. Well, once a month, it's that Match Circles night where you sit down together and talk about the goals. Another meeting we have each month is called Big View, and it's where we talk about the systemic barriers that keep people living in poverty. This is led by the group, though, not the facilitators. We want to focus on things that matter to the clients, and it is out of Big View that another of Open Door's programs was developed, called FAN, Friends and Neighbor Network, and it is a food co-op for our clients. And there are now several FANs around Columbus. Poverty is not a simple life. It is a very hard life. You cannot just go out and find a place to live. I mean, if you qualify, how are you going to get your belongings there? Do you have a car? Do you have a truck? Do you have a friend with a truck? Can you afford to rent a truck? What about going to the grocery store? Can you shop the ads to make sure that you're getting the best prices? Probably not. You've got to go to the one that's closest for you to walk to, and it's going to cost more money. Getting out of poverty takes a lot of work, and it's very, very hard to do alone. But Circles offers education, experiences, and relationships which a person can use to get out of poverty. Now I'd like you to see 2 more videos, one of our clients and one from one of our allies.
I found out about Circles through a flyer in my rent office. I learned what it was about. It was basically financial stability, learning about social interactions, things like that. What we did was we learned how to communicate with people in different situations. One thing I learned was how different people from different social, I guess you could say social statuses, communicate when they first meet each other. I wasn't aware of that at the time. When I first started the Circles programs, I was not employed. I had goals when I first started Circles. My first goal was to gain employment, which I did within the first few weeks of Circles. And then I obtained better employment. Now I have a career with TSIS here in Columbus. I've been there 3 years now, and I'm doing much better than I was when I first started the program. I've also moved out of Wilson and currently renting a house in a better side of town. Once again, thanks to the way that I manage money currently, I know how to save. It's done wonders. Family and sense of community that you have when you come to Circles is wonderful. We come at 6 o'clock. That's dinner time for most people. So you don't just come to Circles and sit hungry. You come and there's a meal. We eat together. Nobody's a stranger when you come in. Everybody's gonna speak to everybody. You start with something called new and goods, where you tell somebody something that's new, something that's good. So you always have something to say in the group. That's actually something that a lot of people look forward to. I know I always look forward to it. Put all of your negative things away and you get to focus on something positive that's happened to you in the past week. I loved it. Ally support is phenomenal. If you need information, if you need somebody to talk to, listen to, that's what your allies are for. They give you a circle of connections so that you can meet with people that may know somebody. So somebody that might know somebody else, which is what your circle is about. And everybody needs a circle.
This program personally has meant a great deal to me as I've participated in it as a Circle ally. This program makes the difference in a lot of lives in our community. I thought when I signed up to be a Circle ally that wasn't quite sure what I had to offer, but what I have received has been so much greater that it's helped me to grow as a person, to be in relationship with two women that I would ordinarily never been in relationship with, and to share life with them. And we are friends to this day. We still stay connected, remember each other and text frequently, and I'm just so grateful for this opportunity. I just think being a friend and walking with someone like you would for any friend, being available, being an encourager just means so much to people as they're walking through life. And to be there, just your presence means so much.
So how can you help? Become an ally. Join our advisory committee. As long as there is poverty, there will be people capable of getting out of poverty. And that's what Circles is, an avenue for getting out of poverty. Circles has a record of successfully helping people make life changes, and they are thriving. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. I was listening and thinking, as long as I've known you, and it's almost as long as I've been in Columbus, you have been working in the community, helping other people. I've never known you not doing that. And so this is wonderful work that you're doing. And so I know literacy is near and dear to your heart. So you know that we will place a children's book in your honor in the library.
Thank you very
So wonderful. That's probably your favorite gift or thank you in the world.
Yes.
So remember, today's program will be on our Facebook page, and we'll get a YouTube link. And I would like to re-welcome all of our visiting Rotarians and guests, especially Sergeant First Class Van Tonder. We're so glad you were here. And remember, we'll not have a program next week. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. But on December 1st, I hope you'll join us because Grant Scarborough will be here with Mercy Med. So until we meet in 2 weeks, let's continue to make a difference.